Hello, hello. Welcome and happy Sunday. And most importantly, happy Mother's Day. It is a beautiful Sunday, and I'm over here trying to do my live at the same time on Instagram, and my guest is unable to join. This sucks. But that's because she's international. I'm just going to put that out there. And we have our first international. Oh, there you are. Sweet Venom was able to join. So now request. Oh, I see your beautiful face on screen. Yes, yes, yes. Go live. Oh my God, we're making this work on so many different platforms right now. Do you know how excited I am? Ah, there she is. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Put your volume down. Put your volume down.
Oh, yes. Oh, there we go.
So now that you just hear me here, they'll be able to hear us because our mics are still working there.
But now we won't echo.
Yeah. Hi.
Oh, and now there's two different angles of me, so
yes.
like now I can just make sure that I look cute everywhere. Success.
Oh, I do hear. All right, so let me make sure my volume is all the way down here. Yep. Okay. So hello. How are you, beautiful?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I am super excited because we have, again, like I said, my very first international guest. And there's like so many firsts right here. So first, you're my first international guest. Second,
amazing.
First is that I'm a huge fan of yours on TikTok.
Thank you.
And if anybody is a big TikTok fan like I am, you know exactly who Evie is. And she does these fun astrological TikToks that are informative, like, I knew it. I knew that was me. I'm not the little pushover.
Validation is key.
And you know what? Like, today's show is going to be a lot about, like, I shot my shot and I didn't, get scared of the no. I got scared of the regret of not having asked. So I did. I sent you a message and I said, hey, I do this podcast and it's a really great show. And would you mind being a guest? And you're like, okay. And I was like, oh my gosh. So let's talk about, you're from Canada.
Yes.
And today is Mother's Day for you too, right? So happy Mother's Day.
We all have the same Mother's Day.
Yes. So you had we got to talk earlier this week, and you had this really brilliant story about how all of this happened. Well, for everybody, all of this happened because of quarantine. And, we all found a different outlet to keep ourselves sane. So for you, as a kid, you were already into astrology. And
yes, from day one.
So talk about that, because it was interesting that you said it was always a part of your life. And then, you went through your teenage angst years and you came back to it.
Yeah. So, like, we can go as far back as a person can make memories, but, like, you know how you have your baptismal tape? Mm-hmm. At the beginning, it had my birth time. And, like, I knew there was one of those things that I had to lock and load into my memory for some reason. I was like, I'm going to need this information. I was like, okay, I'm a crab, I'm a mermaid, I'm a Cancer. Like, it was just my favorite thing. Got a book in grade 6. Was reading. I'd run around my whole school, like around my whole class, and I was like, oh, you're a Scorpio, you guys love your penis, and I'm just screaming penis to everyone. And like, we're in grade 6, like, these are the teachers just looking at me like, oh my God, like, who is this chick? And like, it was just, and then all of a sudden, like, high school came around, and like, I was a Cancer, and I was just like, oh yeah, Cancers, let's like stick to other Cancers. But it wasn't this depth that I took it to when I was a kid. And then college came around, and then in college we were like doing tarot cards and readings, and we were very into it, but like, me and my friends still believed in cusps back then, like cusp signs. And it was just, there was so much unknown with the birth chart. And then COVID came around, and then I just started researching and looking, and then things just started clicking. And I'm like, oh wait, I can just do my own therapy through astrology. I can do astrotherapy. Like, I can find out everything I need to know about myself, my past, my future, my everything. I can find all of this out. And this is something that's been a part of my life from the very beginning. And I'm like, how did I not realize that the road to everything I needed is right here? So it was just little pieces of things that kept clicking along the way until I finally reached this like peak of, oh, this makes sense for you. This is what you're supposed to be doing.
I love it. I love it. And you know, you translated it so well in these little snippets of time that you're allotted, which is perfect because anybody who has any more than 7 or 15 seconds, you lost me.
It's so much to try to get the information that you need in the time frame that you need with the humor that I have, because sometimes like people will completely miss the point. Like sometimes it's too much to have the lyrics, the words, and something, and they'll miss the point. And I'm reading comments and I'm just like, that's no. But then sometimes people are so good and they could read between the lines, and I was like, okay, we're back on track. Like we know what we're doing. Like we're good. So it's very difficult to try to figure out the point I'm trying to make, which is why I try to just keep it very artistic and use the song as my basis for the rest of the videos.
I love that. And you want to know something? Sometimes I definitely get all of your connotations in your videos. Sometimes I scroll right past it. I was like, no, that's not right. And then I have to come back and like it because I was like, no, I'm not going to do that to her. So I do get it all the time.
I have to think about this one. Sometimes you need to think, and sometimes you also need to like have known me as a person and my videos. Because if you don't know my humor and then you watch a video that you just like see as like air signs, people will just like pass and be like, you don't know Aquarius, and I'm like, oh my god, no, you need to understand me and how I feel about Aquarius in order to even understand this video to begin with.
Well, I think that's funny because like you're right. I didn't even know my sign, and like for me, my spiritual awakening was this past year.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people were getting the hit because of the switch with Saturn into a more rebellion kind of state and unique vision.
Oh, I love that. It was definitely a rebellion. But it's funny because I had the conversation with my husband, and he's like, you know, I guess I believe in like the sign. I was like, no. The way she broke it down was a whole different thing. If we look back at where the planets were aligned in the solar system when certain things happened, I was like, just like the same. When I tell you I'm a fangirl, I'm such your fangirl.
I'm here for it. I'm supporting. Listen, having fan people and little like Cancer little minions that I can keep for myself, that I'm just like, you guys are like my little crab crew, like has been the goal, the dream. This is everything. So like I'm here for it.
Well, I am one of your biggest fans, and anybody who's out there who's watching right now, you guys can call in to the radio station and ask Evie a question at 718-616-9971. Don't forget to like, share, and follow. We are on Instagram. We are on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, for anybody who's young enough to know who that was, because I sure didn't when we first started. And of course on the website, mixvibesradio.com. Please ask a question. We are live right now, so I can read your question on my Instagram live as well. But I wanted to talk because TikTok started becoming this really incredible opportunity, not just to become sane or keeps yourself sane through such an extraordinary time in our lives, but a lot of people are able to make an income, a stream of income based on their viewership. Someone asked me to repeat the number. It is 718-616-9971. So TikTok has something called a creator fund that allows the creators of this incredible content to start having a stream of income based on views, which you have. You have the following, you have the views, but what's the one hiccup for you?
The one hiccup is Canadians do not get the creator fund. So there is absolutely just me just doing this out of the kindness of my heart. I will do 12 wardrobe changes and spend my whole afternoon just to be like, this is my art, this is what I want to do, this is my hobby, this is my passion, my creativity, where I can express the things that go on in my mind and just be like, here, this is for all of you guys. And then I noticed that there was the creator fund, and I was like, oh, like this could be like a career for me. Okay, fine. That's not what's going to happen here for Canadians. And that's how I ended up just switching into, well, if I want to do something with this, with the audience that I've built, I'm going to end up giving back to them in the best way that I know how. So I just started doing my store where I can make custom jewelry, have people connect with their zodiac sign, make custom pieces and things that can connect them to themselves, ground themselves, and kind of come with me on my spiritual journey of centering yourself and being one with yourself and being okay with who you are as a person.
I love that. And the pieces, so Evie has a Etsy web page, right?
Yes.
As in Sweet Venom, that's the shop's name.
Sweet Venom by Evie.
The pieces that you've selected, there's a limited selection, but again, just to go with what you just said, there's something that means something to you. So you're definitely incorporating your sentiment in what people can order. And I ordered my bracelet, and I cannot wait to get it. And you hand make all of the pieces, yes?
Yes, yeah, a handmade, which is why, so there's durations where I'm trying to just make sure that I select the right stones. Like for the elemental stone bracelets, like I think that took me about 2 to 3 months to just make sure that I was picking the stones that I felt the vibration with for those elements. And then I also have a bunch of charm necklaces that are going to be coming out very soon. I'm just waiting for a couple of other pieces to come in because with the mail and everything lately, it's been absolutely insane, but like it's growing. But I just want it to be this personal experience where people are like, this is my necklace, not just like, oh, I bought this necklace, it's cute, I'm gonna throw it on, because like I lose majority of my jewelry. I lose everything because I don't care about it enough. I really just don't. So if it's custom and personalized, then I'm just like, oh, this is like, I want this to be a part of me now. And I'm just like, I want to give that to other people too.
Well, I can't wait to get mine. And I've seen some people post when they receive their packages, and you put in these cute little thank you notes. And I'm super excited. What we do have is a question. So Fel, I see your question, and I promise we'll get to it. I just want to finish up with like the homework part. So if anybody wants to find Sweet Venom, it is on Etsy, Sweet Venom by Evie. Your Facebook page, fan page, and shop page is Evie Kal. Yes. Wait, was I allowed to share? Okay, right. Just making sure. I pretend to share without. And
it's all good.
Kalaj 1987. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it, so I don't want. But she says, or he says, the package is adorable.
Yes, thank you, my love.
Okay, so the question from our viewer is, why is the time so important when trying to figure out? And this is so funny because we just had this conversation for the past week. So for me, I don't know what time I was born, and unfortunately, anybody that I could ask either doesn't know or my mom passed away. So you were trying to help me, and I was actually able to get a family member to say it was between this time, and you were able to, I guess, in that time frame, nothing changes. So we were able to do that. So, but why is the time so important to get that whole picture?
Okay, so the whole birth chart is a circle because that is the way that the planets move around. So in order to determine where exactly and what houses your planets sit in, you need to know your birth time to know where your rising sits, because your rising sits in your first house. It's all about the me, all about the self. It's what basically starts your rising. It's what starts your chart, and then from there it's house 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 12. And then it continues in circle. Without the rising sign, you will be able to know majority of your moon and stuff, but you won't really fully understand the interaction, where the houses are. It's kind of just a little bit of missing piece. You can get part of the puzzle, you can get part of the piece and begin to uncover a lot, but it's not the full thing. A lot of expert astrologers are able to determine, if they know the person and they go through all the rising signs and they know the little traits and characters, they can definitely figure out your birth time and your rising sign with just a noon birth time. I'm not there yet, so rising sign would just help determine the layout of all your houses, and the rising sign changes every 2 hours, which is why it is so specific on the time. And then there's degrees that are involved. There's so many little delicate pieces, and the time just solidifies all of that so you can get the most straight answer about what you need to know.
And you know what, it's super important because now, knowing as much as I do and putting it all together, it really does make that picture completely whole. Like, I'm like, okay, why, I'm a Libra, and passive aggressive, flirty, quiet, loves justice. Yeah, I do love justice. But when backed in a corner, I have no problem being confrontational and holding my stance and my ground. And it's like, where does that come from?
Yeah. And there's all these, like, I kind of like to think of the rising and the moon as the protectors of the sun. Like the rising kind of comes in as this wall of, this is the what I'm going to exude to you. Everyone just sees such a fire energy out of me, and as soon as I tell them they're Cancer, they're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But I exude such a fire energy out of me, and I never really understood why. Like I even had this thing with my cousin where we called ourselves Fire and Ice. I'm like what? Why am I fire? Like out of nowhere, I'm a Cancer. Like what? But like now it makes sense. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. So you can like, you really see all these pieces, because then I have the Aries in there, and the Aries is the charger, the protector, the wall, and then I have these Virgo and Earth placements that are this grounding energy, and all the things work together into these pieces where like you have these little quirks, and you're like, why am I so fixated on this one certain thing? And then you notice, oh, there's a Virgo placement in there. I got it. This is why I'm fixated on A, B, C, and D. So it really just helps make you understand and begin to start to work and be aware of like the problems you have, and how to be like, okay, this is just me reacting. This is the Cancer in me. I just need to breathe it out, and I just need to continue on. And then you can progress forward with your life. Like it's astrotherapy, man. That's really...
So knowing that part about you that is so innate and literally from the stars is a grounding aspect, because I think once I, was able to get, so I know that I have an Aries moon. I knew that before but so when I was playing around with it, it said that my, I guess the rising sign is Sagittarius. Is that still Sagittarius?
Yes.
So what does that mean? I don't know. Like, I know my son's a Sagittarius, and he's like the most stubborn person I know. Like, he does everything.
Yes. See, so they basically, in the sun, they all, because all the planets are ruled by certain, I'm just trying to go to the rising signs here.
Okay.
All the signs are ruled by planets. So for example, like, everyone always just talks about Aquarius and how they're so like weird and aliens, and oh my god, every Aquarius every time is like, I'm an alien. And I'm like, okay. And then you think about it, and you really think about it, and you're like, oh, the sun is representative of Leo. Aquarius is the opposite of Leo, which now means that Aquarius is not exactly the happiest in the sun. They're from Uranus. Do you know how far Uranus is from the sun? It is very far. They feel very out of place. They don't really know what's going on. So then they have this like feeling that they are one of a kind and that no one really understands them. And it's because of the placements and what the signs mean. So for the ascendant, the rising sign, it says here, in technical terms, the ascendant is the time the sun was rising in the sky at the time you were born. In astrological terms, this symbolizes the face you present to the world. Keep in mind, the sun is your core personality, but the rising is how others see you. So
all
then
right,
for a Sagittarius...
Yeah, so what does that mean? Like, I would love to see.
Yeah, so for a Sagittarius, with your long legs and... lovely appearance, a Sagittarius ascendant is a youthful and attractive. If this is your rising, you may be athletic, long with a lean body. You rarely put on any weight, but when you do, it tends to be right in the middle where your extremities stay thin. You're active, always on the go, restless, but you could love to lead a life of traveling. Fully stamped passport, you're genuinely easygoing, fun-loving. You always present your thoughts with total sincerity, extremely independent. You like to do your own things.
Yes.
Rules apply. All these rules apply to fashion too. You're extremely fashion forward. You know how to stand out, very avant-garde, but you can be honest, like very brutally honest at times, which really hurt the people you love.
Yeah.
Little bit of a commitment phobe. Makes it hard for you to settle down. You can leave a trail of broken hearts behind. You make a god out of being right even when you're wrong. So it's basically Sagittarius amplified.
Wow. But no, I'm not gonna lie, that's super. Yeah, like I can. My husband says all the time, even when you're wrong, you somehow made yourself right.
And then that in combination with the Aries moon and the Libra sun, if you're going to tell someone they're wrong, you're also going to make sure it's backed. So if they're wrong, they're like extra wrong. Like there's like, okay, here's why you're wrong, A, B, C, and D. Let's not go back there. Happy day. Goodbye. But I'm like that too. I have the Virgo moon. So I'm very much in that, like, I fact my facts. Don't tell me that I'm wrong.
All right. So, well, you have a video that was perfect to this effect exactly with that monologue from, I forgot what it's called. You know, the one that you just did where you're
The
like
Vampire Diaries.
No, not from the Vampire Diaries. He's the Blacklist, from the Blacklist.
Yes,
Like you
I know
debutante a feet if you think you know who you're talking. You don't even know who you're talking to. You're talking to the fucking Lizard King.
They all blur. Yes.
Oh my god, that was my favorite because that's exactly like I was telling I think I was telling you. Whenever I get to that point where I actually go off on somebody, which is, all right, no, I'm lying. It's easy to get me there, but it takes a while for me. But when I get there, I wish I could record myself because I can never repeat it, and it sounds so fucking good that everybody's just like, whoa.
Very, very quick-witted. Very quick-witted. I think there was a video that I made about how these signs talk their big game and then turn around and don't like confrontation. And this really, really, really irritated people. And I'm like, no, you're missing what I'm saying. I'm saying we don't like confrontation because we will destroy a person.
Right. Yes, it's like,
I'm
please,
saying that
let
we
me
don't
stay
like
at
confrontation
peace.
because like I'm going to make you very sad, and then in turn I'm gonna be sad, and now I'm gonna feel bad for everything I said. So I don't like confrontation.
Oh my god, that sounds like me too. I'm not gonna lie. Like, please just don't make me have to do this because then we're gonna hate each other.
Like, just like let me stay in my zen, man. Like let me just I'm
happy.
good. I'm at peace. Let me stay at peace.
So Fel, who's a very good friend of mine, asked, "What's your take on Leo?"
So I have a very different take on Leo than everyone has because everyone's just like, yo, they're so egotistical, they're so in your face, they're so loud, they're so obnoxious. Yes. I mean, yes, they are identified with the sun. The sun literally, like, they have a reason to say that the world revolves around them. They do have their merit to say what they say. But it's also this, there's an innate egotisticalness to it, and it's not even an egotistical, it's this confidence of they're very sure of themselves. Like, they're not gonna really do something unless they're gonna go balls to the wall with it.
Love it. Yep.
And I feel like a lot of people just really confuse what ego is, like ego versus confidence, higher self versus this, and even just like, oh, they're just so full of themselves. I'm like, yeah, but like, don't they have like kind of a reason? Like I would be full of myself too if I did A, B, C, and D and I was able to like buy myself a Ferrari. I'd be like, yeah, bro, I have a Ferrari, here it is, it's in my face. Like, do you want to drive?
It's in your face
let's
too.
Go. Yeah, like let's go.
So I have my first hi on YouTube. So hi, Jody. Thank you so much for commenting.
Oh, hi, Jodes.
This is super exciting. So there you go, Fel. How does that sound? Fel actually is a very good friend of mine who's in transition and
Amazing.
uses the pronouns they, them, he, him. Sorry. So it's been a really fun, interesting. So you telling me that yes, he's gonna do it like balls to the wall. Yeah, that's exactly what he did.
100%. Like just with very verbose, like I am, like if they're making a decision, you know that it's a proper decision and that they've thought through. They're very analytical, very empathic. They're the opposite. Like the sun is Leo, but that also means in turn the moon is Cancer. So I don't know why people would think that they would lack a certain level of empathy when the sun is also the warmth, the light, the joy, and then they still work together. Like I don't think that people give Leos the credit they deserve because they just get thrown into that egotistical category.
Well, so I love that you brought up the opposite sign because I was looking at this and it was actually one of those like love one's not even to myself, and my husband's an Aries and it says like he's the opposite sign of mine, but I also know that that's like the opposite sign for my moon and my sun. So it's just like super fun. Like how can I correlate that to myself knowing that my sun is Libra and the actual opposite of that is my moon is Aries? Like how does that go together?
So There are TikToks that claim that you are certifiably crazy.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that.
If you have your opposite sign in your big three. I think that it is all in turn a balance, because for Aries being in the moon, it's not exactly the happiest. It's in its fall there. Like, it's not having a good time, particularly in the moon. So the Libra and the Sagittarius will bring the strength and the something into the moon to be able to lift it up. So it all works out in a balance, but having your opposite sign is kind of a good and a bad thing, because there's a push-pull. You are very on the same page with yourself, but then there's those certain things where you just, like, the decision making is just not there for you.
Oh, it's already not there for me.
It's already not there for you. I was saying that as I was like, oh God, Libra. And then I was like, oh God, Aries. Oh God, Sagittarius. Oh God, I'm sorry. Decisions are rough for me too. It's a battle. Every decision I have to make is like, I will cry over it.
What I have found out about myself, though, is that it may take me a very long time to make a decision, but once I make it, I've made my decision. I actually go through with it. So I hate when people are like, Libras are flaky or whatever. I'm like, no. Like, trust me, I'm the adventurous.
I'm weighing out my options. Like, because Libra is a cardinal sign with Cancer, we have this innate leader mentality. So we have to think of round Z, like where this can get to. Like, there's option A, B, C, and D, but then there's surprise option X. We need to think of all of those options as a cardinal sign. So making a decision is just like if I make the wrong decision, the world may or may not explode. I'm not too sure, but like, it could possibly happen. So I need to be very careful.
That no truer words have ever been spoken, because I have these whole conversations and I play the scenarios out in my head. If I say this, they're going to respond this, and then I have to say that, or they're going to. I'm telling you, I've done this a million times, and it's just like, wow, overload.
Yeah, I'm the judge and jury, future predictor, fortune teller, past, all happening at once. It's all swirling in my brain. And like, do you want pizza or Pizza Hut? Like, and I'm just like, but if I get Pizza Hut and then A, B, and C, like, it's just like, it goes way too far over like very little things sometimes. But then there's other times where like, once I make my decision, I'm like, that's the correct answer. Like, why didn't I think of that in the first place? There was one time where I had a newborn, and we were driving about like a 6-hour drive, and we didn't have air conditioning in the car. And I'm not going to put a newborn in a car in the middle of the summer with no air conditioning and driving on the highway with the windows down. He's going to go deaf. I'm not going to do that. So I'm like freaking out. I'm like screaming at the top of my lungs. I'm like, I don't know what we're going to do. We can't do this. I'm freaking out. We should just drive at night. And I'm like, yeah, we'll just drive through the night. Like, that's obviously the correct answer. Like, what? Why didn't I just like think of that? And then I like immediately calm down. I'm like, I'm a genius. I can solve problems. Like, just. And this happens every time I have to make a decision. I forget that I'm good at it, and then it just comes to me, and I'm like, oh right, I can do this.
Or how about, has this ever happened to you where you're like, I don't know how to do this, so as soon as I start saying the problem to somebody else, then I answer myself, and I'm just like, well, now I just look like a freaking idiot because they think I couldn't do it. And then,
I've just established to people that I'm like, listen, a lot of times I'm talking at you. I don't need your help. I don't need the look from you. I don't need the sympathy. I need to talk at you, and then I'll like figure it out in the process. You can give me your input. Yes. You can let me know how you feel. But like, I'm working this through myself, and you're my sounding board, because I don't like to journal.
Exactly.
I just use other people as sounding boards, and I'm just like, listen, you probably shouldn't know like this much of my thought process, but here we are, and it's fine.
Wait, is that why, like, because my son has conversations with himself, but out loud, and we've already told him, listen, preface whether you're speaking to us or to yourself so that we know not to answer, because it's not even like under his breath. He literally speaks out loud.
Yes, okay, no, but that's a masculine brain thing.
Oh, okay, so it's not a Sagittarius
I'm not too sure. My husband does it. My brother does it. A lot of my friends will complain about this mumbling under their breath and talking. I'm pretty sure it's a processing thing. But it's also, I think that it might be if they say it out loud, they can hear themselves. Because when I type out loud to people, and I type and I read what I say, I'm like, oh, I can like see how I'm thinking. So I think it helps them see their thinking.
Well, he definitely has to see it loudly.
I feel
So I apologize if I mispronounce anybody's name. So Lady Loop, if that's right, she's talking
Yeah.
at you just to not sound crazy.
Thank you.
So again, we are
You're
here
not
live.
crazy. You're not crazy, and I love you.
At Mixed Vibes Radio, and we can be reached at area code 718-616-9971 if you have any questions for Evie. And don't forget to like, share, and follow both Evie, Mixed Vibes Radio, and I'm hoping that you guys already are following me. So
If you're not, you should. 'Cause
Thank you.
That's what you gotta be doing.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm going to go back to the very first time we had our conversation. I was like, I'm going to have the only fangirl moment.
Oh yeah, go for it.
So, all right, no, that's that. So we wanted to talk about, and we did for a second. Yeah, we wanted to talk about.
And nothing.
Look, I have all my notes here. I have
Amazing.
literally all my notes here.
I love it. I love it.
So let's talk about this because this is fun, and actually, it's going to be happening very soon. We were talking about, because you do a lot of videos talking about moon water.
Yes.
And we were talking about that, and you said that the different oh crap, where'd it go? I'm gonna do it
The
off
different
the top
ways
of my
that
head.
you can use the moon water.
Yes. So you focus on the universe and the new moon and full moon energy,
Yes.
and you literally just let your no, you go ahead because I'm gonna mess it up. But
Okay,
we're almost at
so-
the new moon, so this is why I want
Yes,
to talk about it now.
we are almost at the new moon in Taurus. I think is it Tuesday? Is it Tuesday? I think it's Tuesday.
The 11th.
The 11th. I think that might be Tuesday. My son is fixated on Tuesday, so it might be Tuesday. But yeah, so the moon water, you can make moon water any time of the week. Don't let anyone tell you that like you can't. You can make moon water whenever you want, as long as the moon is there. But the whole point of moon water and why people are like, okay, oh, like what are these witches doing with the moon water? It's like, okay, let's break it down first to science. Let's go back to science and realize that the moon does in fact control the tides. It moves the water. Like it can move the whole freaking ocean. So let's humble ourselves and be like, okay, so there is something with the moon and water. There is an attraction. There is an energy that works between the two. So the whole concept is that you will take the moon water outside and you will put your intentions in the water, whatever you want it to be for that particular moon. So for the Scorpio moon, I really want to just be more in touch with myself. So the full moon that just passed was just like, I just want more enlightenment and more just like using the intuition of the Scorpio moon and putting that intention in. And then you just take it outside, make sure it's in the light of the moon. If you can't see the moon and there's clouds, just kind of like verify where the moon is and then leave it that way. And then you basically have this moon charged water that holds the energy of that moon. So you can basically do and use wherever you use water, you can replace it with the moon water to give yourself a pick-me-up. So I used a Cancer moon water for a Scorpio moon bath, and it just raises the vibration. I was feeling like super down. I was like not the happiest camper on the planet. And then it just picked up my mood. I was like doing my hair, my makeup, like just like that little bit of energizer boost. You could put it in your tea, your water, your plants, basically anything where that you would need a little boost or a pick me up. And then it basically works the same thing as holy water, where if you basically, if you put a little bit, if you put a little bit, you're making your coffee and you just pour like a little bit, put your intention, and then you continue making your coffee. You've made moon coffee essentially.
Right.
A lot of it is mental, but it is also the energy.
Sure.
The energy is there, and if you can feel and sense the energy and feel it, it becomes that much more powerful. So there is, why would you not use energy to give yourself energy, whereas we're running to things like coffee and food and energy drinks when we can use the actual world, the earth, and the universe to get everything that we need.
And it's crazy to me that people wouldn't believe that energy doesn't exist when it's all around us.
There's a lack of people only see certain parts of it. So they're like, okay, yeah, Jupiter, Venus, they're all great and dandy, but they also do control weather patterns. There's a whole section here, like Jupiter and Venus do control the Earth patterns. Researchers from Columbia University confirm that the gravitational tugs from Jupiter and Venus impact our climate here on Earth. So it's not just the moon, it's the ocean tides, the suns, the seasons, mental health. It's all based on the tilt and the access of the earth to the sun,
which has been changing.
We are very affected by these things.
Sure. I love that.
So to not use and think that like we can gain information and knowledge from it is kind of just like not giving yourself an edge that everyone deserves. Like we're all just like, man, I wish there was just a road. I wish there was just a guide, something that could help me, and like it's right there.
Well, yes, exactly. It's right there. And this new moon, because I saw it in another video, so please confirm, is about manifesting. I don't want to say wealth, but like whatever. Tell me, I know
manifesting the way that you would say it where it doesn't sound like I'm manifesting money is I'm manifesting abundance. So it's about manifesting abundance, making steps forward in your career, solidifying things. It's Taurus season with a Taurus new moon. A new moon is all about new beginnings, starting fresh, letting everything that you let go of in the new moon. You come into a new moon, fresh. Cleanse, clean your house head to toe, get ready, bring in the energy that you want. And with it being in its house sign of Taurus, and Taurus being very, very savvy of the second house where finance lives, like career goals and all of these things live within the second house.
Yes.
And having all of that with the new moon, you might as well take that and work towards it, especially if you're one of those people that's trying to learn how to make money on your own and grow your abundance within yourself and put your energy back into yourself. I feel like a lot of people are just working right now and they're not really sure what's happening with the money. And I think that right now we need to focus on bringing energy back into ourselves and wealth back into our own lives, however that may be. And that can definitely happen with a Taurus new moon. Wealth is a state of mind. It's not a matter of like doing Scrooge McDuck and sitting on 1,000 things of money. It's starting to become smarter with your money, starting to think about your purchases and what you can bring into your life that's going to add into your life. And that would be more or less what the Taurus new moon is. It's all about Venus as well. Venus is the finer things in life, just noticing the things that you love and joy and happiness and relationships and just vitality in general.
I love that.
Would be the general theme of the new moon. So it is a big one. Opposite of the full moon that we just had was a little bit more heavy, a little bit more into ourselves, and now we can kind of release that into the positivity that we need to put back into the world.
I'm definitely going to be doing that. So all right, so this is an important, because you did say this, that it's okay if the sun and the moon mix, but if you're looking for moon water, we have to do a specific window. But really quickly, before we get into that, I just want to say hi, Stefania. I hope I'm saying that correctly. She said she loves this show, and I love you so much for saying that. I am having a lot of interaction today.
It's a good show. It's a good show. I like it.
Thank you. And so let's talk about that time window, which is super important if you don't want it to mix.
Well, because like, it's fine. It's totally fine. You can totally have sun and moon water. You can totally do it. It's gonna still have the same energizing vibe. But I'm one of those people that I'm going to wake up at 5:30 in the morning, and I'm gonna make sure that like it hasn't really been hit by the sun. I'm gonna try to catch it before sunrise. But I'm also neurotic, and I'm a Virgo moon, and I need things to be done the way they need to be done. So for me, having the sun taint my moon when I am a Cancer, God forbid that happens. But like, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. It will still have the energy of the moon. It just now has extra vitality, energy, joy from the sun. It's all good. It's not going to ruin your life, especially since it's a Taurus sun anyways. Like it's not the biggest deal. I just I'm setting alarms. I'm setting alarms just for my own neurotic tendencies.
Well, I want to do that. I'm going to make it because like, I don't know, right now it just feels like everything is going right. So I'm going to do whatever I can to make that keep going.
Might as well just give yourself the edge. Like, right? I don't see what's
the
harm of bringing more joy into your life. Exactly. I don't know. Like, you might as well just bring the joy. Bring all the joy however you want to. If moon water in a jar is going to make you happy, oh my God, get all the moon water.
What does it cost? What does it cost? Yeah. A jar and some water. Yeah. Wait, so that's another good question. Oh, I told you these questions are going to come up. Does it matter the type of water? Can it be just regular tap water, or should it be like? Okay, all right.
It can be regular tap water. I mean, if I plan on drinking the water, I like to use filtered water.
Okay, so that's important. Okay.
Yeah, like if I plan on, because like sometimes, so with this is gonna just lead into like a really random off topic about the evil eye. So because I'm Greek, with the evil eye, we do have the Greeks. I mean, the Greeks, the Argentinian, like a lot of cultures do a very similar thing. But we basically have like oil and water, and we do a ritual to be able to remove the evil eye from someone that has it. Okay. And then at the end, you will basically drink 3 sips of the water. So if I want to use my moon water for that, because I do think that it helps a little bit more, and I want to sip, but I want to make sure that I have like some filtered water, because I don't like the taste of my tap water, but it doesn't really matter. It's again, personal preference.
There you go. I would probably do that too, especially because my Keurig is very finicky and doesn't like my tap water.
Yeah. So if you wanna do it that role, like I mean, if filtered water is not gonna do any sort of harm, it's just whatever water. Like I mean, if you want to get lake water is even better. Like just all kinds of water. Like yeah, like people will go and they'll collect sand when they're on vacation, and then they'll have like beach water and ocean water, and they'll bring that back from their travels with them. Like using things, the elements in any way, shape, or form, basically.
Oh, I've always brought home sand. I stopped doing that. I started buying it though, because like I tried to do that once and they took it away. I don't know why at the airport.
Yeah, I don't listen.
It's
the
sand.
rules for airports are about to get. You're not gonna be able to bring nothing back. Don't even think of bringing ocean water back ever again. It's never gonna happen.
Oh my gosh. So we talked about this really quickly, but I wanted to bring it up again because we talked about how like we all started these little outlets to keep ourselves sane because of quarantine, and you are in Canada, and I wanted to talk about like how you guys are doing right now. Like we're about to open up everything. Like Jersey and New York, they just said
we're not good, bro.
Full capacity.
We're not good, bro.
You're not?
We're not doing swell. We're not doing good. We're completely locked down. We're locked down until May 20th. There are rumors that it could be extended into June. I don't even know. Stores are locked down. Like Walmart, you go into it and they have things taped off, but it's like the weirdest buzz. We have toddler clothes and children's clothes taped off, but like there might be that one eyelash like set on sale that you can just grab and buy because like eyelashes, but like toddler underwear, no, I have to order it on Amazon and wait like 10 to 15 days because Amazon is now delayed with shipping. So it's been fun. It's been a good ride. I've been enjoying it. We have the vaccines rolling in though. Now like I think like by the end of May or something we should be able to have things rolling out. So I mean, we can all just hope that when May 20th hits, they're going to make an announcement and say we've all done our part. Congratulations. Now everything is going to go back to normal, and then everything's going to open up. But I truly don't think that's gonna happen, and I've lost complete faith in Canada as a whole.
Well, it's the same here because I don't understand what is the difference between now and May 19th. That between now and then, no.
I don't know.
Not
the famous
last
words in Canada are it's gonna be 2 weeks, 2 weeks to close the gap, 2 weeks to flatten the curve. 2 weeks, and it's been a year, and I truly do believe that like, oh yeah, just 2 more weeks, guys, is something that we're gonna roll into. I can tell you right now, I can promise you right now, we're going to have the exact same thing that happens. People are gonna get the vaccines, it's gonna roll in, they're gonna open things up, we're gonna have the freedom. They're not gonna do it right at Victoria Day weekend because they're definitely not gonna do that for us. So we're gonna have that little window. They're gonna open up again, and then summer's gonna roll. Things are gonna be fine. Around maybe the end of June, they're gonna cancel things. July, they're gonna cancel things again, close us down. We're probably looking at about 2022 when things are gonna start to end up becoming this actual new normal. Like I feel like people just keep saying the new normal, but I'm like, yeah, we're gonna roll into a new normal for sure. It's just a matter of like, when's it gonna happen where we're actually going to be able to go out and not feel bad and like not feel bad about it, because like even when things did open up and we did have those things, you were still being judged and crucified for hanging out with people. So I'm just kind of thinking that it's gonna be 2022 when we are able to actually hang out with people, and it's gonna be laughing, haha, fun, not this like uptight like kind of situation.
Oh my God, do we have somebody in France? Because they said France is in perpetual lockdown for 2 weeks and 2 weeks more and then 2 weeks more since April 10th. Are you, Lady Loop, are you in France?
Yes. Yes, yes,
Oh.
yes. My little European.
Oh my gosh. How exciting. So now I have two international people on my show.
Yeah, I feel like I've also established that parts of Europe have a very similar kind of situation than we do here and there, because like it's also in the UK, they're also completely locked up and locked down. And but then I have people that are in Brazil and in other parts of the world, and it's very interesting to just see how all the different places are dealing with things and how people as a whole are dealing with things. I'm a people watcher. It's what I love doing. I love people watching. So I've just been like watching how everything around the world is happening. And I'm just like, all right, cool. I have my forests. I have my backyard. I'm a Cancer. I like just go into my crab. I'm vibing. I'm doing swell. I'm just doing my crab thing, and now I'm just like filtering people out, and I'm just like, listen, I've been a professional social distancer my whole life.
This is nothing
do
new.
this. Let's go. I'm ready to play the long game. I'm really ready to play the long game.
Oh my gosh. All right, so again, we are here with Evie of Sweet Venom, and if anyone has any questions, you can call in at 718-616-9971 or ask them right here live on Instagram. We are taking calls, and please don't forget to like, share, and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Mix Vibes Radio, and again, your Facebook is EVEEVEEKAL.
Yeah, like the Pokemon.
Yeah. Oh, is that what it is? Okay. On Facebook, that is your fan page, and
that's another thing.
What happened?
No one notices my username. I'm Eevee, like the Pokemon. I can change into whatever it is that I want and morph and mold. And everyone's like, and then once people hear it and they think of the Pokemon, they're like, oh wait, yeah, you are this little chameleon that changes into whatever you want. And I'm just like, there we go. Oh, but I had one thing I want to show you for you now that you know your rising sign.
Okay.
There's this book called Astrology for Yourself. It's basically a whole workbook. So you like print off your thing, and then it has like actual, like you just fill out pieces. So it'll tell you like how to interpret the planets in your birth chart. So my Mercury is in et cetera, et cetera. So like my sun represents my purpose, will, and power. I can best express this by, and then you would fill in the blank, and then it gives you these things to fill in. So like my need to commit to a dream, an ideal, and work towards these, and realize that I'm an empath. And then it gives you all these, like, just it's like a literal, like a literal. Oh God, where's my camera? Yeah, like a literal.
We got a couple
fill
of
out,
cameras,
like,
yeah.
workbook.
Oh, how cool is that?
So it's just one of those, because a lot of people are just like, well, I don't know where to learn, and like you can get so confused on Google, but like if you at least have the basis of being able to fill this out, you'll kind of know where to go when you go into Google land. Because like Google land, somehow everyone ends up on where I'm gonna die Google. Like you start looking up your birth chart and you're just like, how am I gonna die? Let's find this out. Let's not go there. Let's try to find out about ourselves first, and not look up all the scary things and the 12th house and the 8th house. Let's not look up the scary stuff just yet.
And that's not for nothing. That's a little bit daunting when it's not something that you're used to reading.
Yes.
But the two sites that you had recommended, especially for beginners, one was Cafe Astrology for your basic info.
Yeah, it gives you just like little tidbits on what things mean, and just so you can get an understanding.
And then also Astro Charts. I have a note here and I don't understand what I wrote. Aspect, opposition.
Yeah, so Astro Charts would just be the thing that would just kind of fill it out, because with your birth chart, you know how you have all those lines and stuff? Those are the aspects and how the planets intersect with each other. And sometimes that's really hard to figure out. So if you just go to Astro Charts, it basically does everything for you and lets you know that, like, oh, Sun opposition Saturn, and then from there you will look that your Sun opposing your Saturn, there's going to be a conflict between self and career, and trying to find a balance there. Okay. And you can see the push and pulls, and it's just so that's basically where you go with that, because you just want to know what the planets mean, what the zodiac signs mean, and what the houses mean, and then you can combine them together. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes the aspects is just a little bit too much for people, so then you just go to Astro Charts, it fills it out for you, and then you can kind of go from there.
So similar to the workbook, but they're doing all the filling out as opposed to Gotcha.
Yeah, basically, the book basically does all the Googling stuff for you. Okay. Like you fill it out, and you're essentially you're doing it for yourself. Like you can totally pay for a birth chart 100% and have someone tell you about yourself, or you can do the work yourself and try to figure it out yourself. And then you can also do the options of downloading the apps on your phones and or Googling. I do all 7 of them. I do every single option I can because I'm here for all the birth charts. I just found out about the progression birth charts, which is it's an addition, like an extra birth chart to your birth chart, because your son progresses every 30 years. So me being a Cancer sun, developing into some of the traits of a Leo, now the confidence is coming out, my creative expression is coming out. And what am I doing now at 30? Interesting that she's coming in her own at 30 and has like this like Leo energy, but it doesn't change your birth chart. It's an addition. Like
Gotcha.
when you go into your Saturn return, you know how like everyone has that Saturn return at around the age of 27. It's when Saturn comes back to where it was born.
Okay.
And it basically comes and shakes up your world. It's make or break. Like for me, it was age 27 to like 30. Like it just, everything, like I thought that everything was fine, but then I thought of like where I was at the beginning of my Saturn return and then where I am, and I'm like, oh wow, that's 2 different people. You just Google what year you're born, and then you look up when your Saturn return was.
I'm gonna do that because I know exactly what I was doing at 27 to 30. I moved to New York and met my husband, who, guess what, wants to know if we could talk about Aries.
Yeah,
you're a hothead, baby. You're a hothead. That's what.
Well, see, so I had to really humble myself because I was the one person that like always just talks shit about Aries. But like it's because Aries they're the dumbass heroes, man. They are the dumbass heroes that will run straight headfirst into a fire with no plan, like a chicken with no head, and they're just like, and then people are like, what are you doing, bro? And they're like, yo, I'm fixing every problem, I got this. And like there wasn't even a problem to begin with.
Oh my God.
There wasn't even nothing was wrong. There was literally so my mother-in-law is an Aries, and my husband's car was like breaking down, and it broke down at a red light, and she just does this like dramatic like pulls into the middle of the road, like stops traffic, like we I'm pretty sure that it could have been done where we were like slightly on the side of the road, but like no, I'm saving the day. It's just like, but it's like it's all Aries, but like I have to humble myself because Aries happens to land right in my number 1 first house, and it's my whole personality. So I'm just like, bruh, humble yourself. You are that dumbass hero. You are that dumbass hero.
And by the way,
and then I think back and I'm like, oh wow, bro, yeah, you are.
So I want everybody to know that just as animated you see Evie here, this is how she is in all of her videos too. So if you are not following her on TikTok, you must. I'm gonna keep posting them on my page so that people can luckily see them, even though they don't have a TikTok account.
Amazing, I love that.
But
I love that.
Your whole energy, your whole vibe. I told you, I was like, I love it. I love this. It's not, you're not timid and quiet.
No, I see. I've been realizing the older that I get that I just like I never got the memo. I mean, adults were telling me my whole life, like they were just like I would like hear things from adults, but like I never got the memo that I was supposed to blend. Like I never understood that I was like, oh, like you have to like people can't know that like you're this like actual soul floating around, like you have to blend, and like I never got the memo, so I've just been this extra my entire life, and then I'm just like and then sometimes people get thrown off, like I'll just like start talking to strangers and they're just like, why are you acting like you know me? And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, this is just who I am as a person, I just like I love you, I'm sorry, your hair is so cool.
I love it.
So it's like I never got the blending memo. So I've just been exuberant and loud, and I'm finally happy that now it's not this obnoxious, annoying thing that it used to be. Like I used to be hushed and silenced and quieted, and it's always just been like the shh. And now I'm just like, no. I am fabulously obnoxious, and I love it, and no one's gonna tell me otherwise. Thank you very much.
And I'm gonna say you are, and it is. You're gonna take it as a compliment. You're not.
I'm so obnoxious.
So I have a question.
I'm the fish from Finding Nemo, and it's fine. Like I'm obnoxious. Like I have no problem saying it. And, like I'll even say it to people in comments too. The fish from Finding Nemo, the one that goes like, I'm obnoxious.
Oh my God! Oh, in the tank, in the big tank. Okay.
No, in the ocean, one of the little fish in the. Remember when they?
Now
when
I'm gonna have to watch
Nemo
it
goes,
again.
yeah, you're gonna have to. Oh my God. My toddler watches it all the time, so I have it basically memorized.
Oh,
you have
okay.
to rewatch it. It's the best. Like, it's one of those movies that you just cry from joy every time. It's such a good one. Finding Dory also. That one I
I've never
watched
seen
like
that.
almost more. Oh my god, watch it. Disney Plus. Put
See,
it on.
I'm
It's the
Dory.
best.
I forget everything. I walk into the room and forgot why I walked into the room.
Libra problems be like,
Oh
oh
my
right, Sagittarius with the Aries. I can't. You need to make notes. Like, sticky notes everywhere needs to be a part of your everyday
Well,
routine.
so it was funny getting ready this morning. I walked into my dressing room,
Yeah.
and I literally sat down at my vanity, and I was like, why did I just walk in here and sit down? What was I literally forgot from my bedroom, which is like a whole 10 feet.
Yeah. It's the most frustrating. That's where I just like there's a little bubble of rage in my soul at all times. Things like forgetting when I walk into a new room, it enrages me so much because I'm just like, it really just makes me go full Men in Black, and I'm just like, did an alien just come into this room? Why can't I remember? But there is actually a thing. There's like an actual thing that when you walk through a door frame, it like refreshes your brain.
Ooh.
It's like an actual thing. I've like looked into it because I was just like, why do we do
that
this?
makes sense.
There's something about the door frame that like your subconscious goes whoosh and refreshes, and you
Ooh.
focus on whatever's in that room.
That's interesting. Now I'm gonna have to look that up. So I have a question for you because we're rounding an hour already so quickly,
God,
right?
amazing. Yeah, love it.
But I have a question for you because I have a super exciting story that I want to tell.
Oh yes.
But I wanted to. So is part of this like now that we know this about my my moon, my sun, my rising, is that where I've gotten this whole new attitude of if there's an opportunity, I want to take it. Because I don't want to regret it the next day that I had an opportunity and didn't do anything with it.
So that's where your houses would come into play.
Oh.
That is where, so your risings and everything, but like you also have to take into consideration that like you have your sun is in Libra, but you also have a Mercury. Your Mercury is also in Libra, which is where you communicate and all your communication, and all of this lies in the 11th house, and the 11th house is there's all the relations on why, and then you have this opposition between your sun and your moon, where there is that battle. So that is where you're starting to come into your own. And there's also, but this is where the progression chart comes in that I'm very intrigued with, that I just discovered, is that like it will help you. So that's what I was saying about the Saturn return, is that you can also find a birth chart for your Saturn return and see like what you can expect during your Saturn return. And then with your progress birth chart, you can see like around the age of 30, everything changes. And then again at 60, but you can at least see where you've progressed into. So your sun would have progressed from a Libra into a Virgo? No, Scorpio. You would lead into a Scorpio. So the Libra mind switching into the intuitive role of a Scorpio is making you just now you're very much, the decisions that I haven't made are being made now. The end, done. I'm doing this. Me switching from where I was into a Scorpio moon, again, a very intuitive kind of, it doesn't change who your signs are, because I think that that's where a lot of people get very, very confused. Zodiac signs are not just about the zodiac signs. It's not just Leo is an egotistical maniac. Cancers are emotional basket cases. It's not just about that. Cancers are associated with nurturing, family, emotions, all things intuition, being able to read someone and mirror their emotions, all things that are associated with water, all things that are associated with the moon. So just because your progress chart says that now you're a Scorpio moon or now you're a Leo sun, it doesn't mean that. It just means that you're now taking some of these traits that these zodiac signs are related with, and now you're incorporating it into your current life, and now your new views, where you're headed, where you're going, how you see the world now.
All right.
Because your birth chart is the snapshot of when you were born.
Right.
100%.
And that's,
but like
at this point,
the moon,
45 years ago.
The moon sign is more apparent when you're a child. Like it's more obvious as a child.
Okay.
Then it becomes this like secretive part of you that you keep to yourself. So there's all these transitions, but then you grow. The sky moves, the planets move, everything moves. So there's all these additional charts to just help further the layers on the you that is you and why you do the things that you do.
I'm so going to check that out. I'm so going to check that out because, all right, so Friday night, I love this story. I've been
Oh, I'm
telling
excited.
everybody that I can,
I'm excited.
but I waited for today to tell it now.
I'm so excited.
Friday night, my best friend calls me and she's like, hey, I know last minute, but, really need a drink. Do you want to go out for a drink? I'm like, yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah.
And so, Jersey's still pretty, on not lockdown, but we have very rigid, stuff that we can do, limited capacity in places, no in the bar or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, we could do that, but they're probably not serving food. But so can we go have dinner first? And I'm thinking that'll I brought a bottle of wine to dinner and I'm like, okay, this will be good for her. And that's all that she'll need. And when we're done with dinner, she's like, no, I still really would like a drink. Now, my best friend is the type of person that she's very low key, really laid back. She loves Sade. So I'm thinking, okay, we're going to go have a cocktail and listen to Sade.
Yeah.
And so,
just like a regular chill situation.
Just super chill. And so we pull up to the place. And when I tell you that place was thumping, like pre-COVID club.
Just ready to party hardy.
Oh my gosh. I mean, to the point that I was like, the Kool-Aid smile on my face made it hurt. And I was like, is this for real? Are we in the middle of like a bar? There was people dancing, a DJ playing music, people standing outside. And I felt so guilty about being there that I was like, do you mind if I tell?
This is illegal.
Well, do you feel bad if I tell my husband to come? So I text my husband because he was just a couple weeks ago saying, I miss going out dancing. I was like, I can't be here and not tell him.
Yeah.
So he comes and joins us and he goes up to the bar and to get a drink and he comes back to us and he's like, holy shit, Plaxico Burress is here.
Oh my God.
Do you know who that is? Every female that I've said that story to, they're like, who?
Yeah, they're just like, what?
Who? So
you always have to think. You have to think of the name, pronounce it in your head, and then you have to just think of what sport. That one sounds like football.
Yes. So it's football. He was a Giant on the team that caught the Super Bowl winning touchdown from Eli Manning against the undefeated New England Patriots at the time.
Oh yeah, okay.
Do you remember that Super Bowl? Like fucking everybody hated New England Patriots, especially if
it was not a time.
It wasn't amazing. And I think if I'm correct about the year, it was the day after my wedding night. So that was like the most awesome wedding present ever.
That's amazing.
So fast forward, my husband's like, he's sitting right there. And I was like, shit, like even now my heart is racing. I was like, shit, I should go introduce myself. I was like, I'm gonna be so mad at myself tomorrow if I had the opportunity and didn't do it. And I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go talk to him. So he's standing at the bar.
You have to.
Yes. So I did. I went up to him and I was like, hi. And mind you, he's like 6'6", so he's like up here. So I'm like, this is me. Hi. Like some crazy lady. And I was like, my husband told me you were here and I have this radio show, so I had to shoot my shot and, say hi. And I had in my purse, I had my logo that was created and it was printed on a sticker as kind of like a mock-up to see if, whether or not I want to purchase more. Well, guess what? I'm purchasing more because in Plaxico Burress's hands and pocket now are my logo.
Oh my God, I love that so much!
On a sticker for my show. And when you Google the Mindminx Show, guess what comes up? The very first one. So I said to him, I have a radio show. I know you're famous and I know I'm a crazy lady. I was like, but would you consider being on my show? And he's like, sure. I don't know if to be nice or if... But he said, sure. And I was like, okay, I'll send you a message.
Amazing.
And then he bought me and my husband a drink. And I was like, thank you very much for giving us some of your off time. And then I left the man alone. But yeah, so I shot
That's amazing. Well, you know what? You have to. You really have to. Like, my husband has a podcast. And, honestly, if you just message people, people, for some reason, think that, we're very busy. They just, they think that you have this certain amount of followers. And all of a sudden, you're, a very busy person. Yes, my inbox is overflowing. But that's just because I don't check messages. That's just because I'm really bad at getting back to people. But a lot of us he'll message big Twitter people, and they'll be like, yeah, sure, I'll be on the show, and they'll do it because we love talking. We love talking about ourselves, and we're bored. We're busy. We're not busy. We want to be able to talk to people, like-minded people. I think everyone is just really willing, and podcasts are becoming the way of the future, and radio, and now that I'm able to just be home, I'm like, yeah, sure, everyone can talk to me. I'm in my safe bubble. I'm good.
There you go.
I'm golden. So yeah, no, definitely message him. Oh my God, continue to shoot that shot. Do it.
Oh my God, yes. I'm gonna listen.
God, so
I guess my
exciting.
confidence got boosted because I messaged you. I messaged a couple other TikTokers that like, and when I tell you, people are like, do you know this person? And they're like, yeah. I was like, she's gonna be on my show.
I know, it's so exciting, bro. All the bragging points, anything that makes you just go,
yes,
yeah,
exactly.
like just do it. That's all life's about, is just so you can dust that, just so you can feel good. Do it all. Just do whatever makes you feel swag.
Yes.
And so good about yourself.
100%. Yes, yes. So we have been, even though we were starting late because my ass got stuck on the GW bridge.
What? New Jersey traffic, am I right?
We have rounded out that hour, and it is Mother's Day, so I'm pretty sure everybody needs to get back to their festivities. So I want to thank you. I do want to say a happy Mother's Day to Mary, my mother-in-law, my sisters Christine and Nellie, my best friend Susie, my cousin Lottie, and my sister-in-laws, and especially my mom in heaven. So everyone who is a mom, I hope you guys are having a beautiful day today. It is actually really nice weather if you're not stuck on a bridge for 2 hours.
It's so sunny and nice today. Take advantage. They gave us a net. The sun was just like, mothers, have today.
Yes.
Have today.
And I just wanted to announce that next week I'll be picking the winner for my outro. I've gotten a couple of great entries, and we're working to figure out how to make it all work. And I'll be announcing the winner next week on my show. Evie, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I loved it. You're the best.
Thank you. Everybody watching YouTube, Twitch. We do have. Yeah, I did say.
She says she follows you everywhere.
Oh, does she?
You guys, I'm not sure if you.
Oh, well, dude, Stephanie, if I'm saying your name right, she said she follows us everywhere, so I'm assuming it's probably you, but follow me too. You get the nice advantages too. So thank you, everybody. Don't forget Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Mix Vibes Radio. Like, share, follow, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Happy Mother's Day, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.